Alberta Impact. I'm your host, Bryce Lambert. Water. Up to 60% of the human body is water. It's no wonder why we say water is life. While we have been blessed to be in a country where drinking water is safe and readily available, various parts of the world cannot say the same. In an article released by World Economic Forum in 2019, 2.2 billion people still don't have access to clean drinking water. That's a huge number. What's even sadder is that most of these countries don't have the right technology to detect if their drinking water is safe. Well, here with me today is Parmiss Morgir Shibani, founder of Roshan Water Solutions, a spin-off company of University of Alberta, whose vision is to assure safe and clean water while protecting the environment. Parmiss, thank you for joining us today.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So you're coming up with some really cool technology here, and you're bringing that out into the world slowly but surely. Yes. It's taking a little bit longer than we'd like, just with a lot of the government changes and things like that. Yes. Can you kind of tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing and how you're doing it?
Absolutely. So this project, our VeloSense sensor, it started as my PhD project at the University of Alberta. Mm-hmm. And shout out to IC Impacts for greenlighting the whole project in the first place. Thank you. And then we realized that it had potential to be used in the real world. Mm-hmm. So what we do is we detect if the water is safe or not, if there's bacteria in the water or mm-hmm. not. So is it safe to drink or not? And then what we do is this device, other than what they do in the laboratory, which takes a long time. It takes about a day to do the test itself. Yeah. Samples of water have to be transported into the labs. Sophisticated labs, they can't be just a room full of equipment.
Right.
And then sometimes it takes about a week to get your results back, and sometimes that can be too late, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. People can get sick. People die from dirty water, unfortunately. That's really sad. Mm-hmm. But what we do with our device is we can see if your water is safe or not in a matter of an hour.
Right.
And you can take this in the field with you.
Yeah, yeah.
So we've done a lot of testing, and we've done field tests with our device, and we're trying to make this a real product, which our research and development is doing. Yeah. So to take this into the field, rural areas where you don't have access to such labs, where it takes a long time to transport your sample, you don't know if you're doing it right, if your sample is being preserved correctly or not. And then this device can tell you much faster than our app. Get it done. See if your water is safe for drinking.
And what's really important to note, what you said was, I mean, it can be taken out into the field. Yes. And then for usability of this product and this system, is that something that you can train other people to easily use, so they don't actually have to be a lab technician per se, or do you still have to have some knowledge of the system?
Definitely, we were trying to make this as easy to use as possible so anyone can use it.
Right.
That's why we're refraining from using any parts that require training. Yeah. So this can be easily done and mostly automated. Mm-hmm. So you just put in your sample of water into your cartridge, you put the cartridge into your reader and wait for an hour to get the results. And you can see the logged results over time online, which doesn't really require training. So that's our goal. So everyone can use this.
Right. And so you guys started at University of Alberta. Can you kind of take us through the process on how this, your guys' existence came to be and why Alberta was such an important part of that?
Well, Alberta has a great environment for entrepreneurs, and we're lucky to be here. Mm-hmm. And what happened was that, as I said, when I was doing my PhD, we saw potential for this technology. And I kind of graduated 3 years ago from the PhD program at the University of Alberta. And then we decided, okay, let's go find out what we need to do to make this a business. Yes. And we got a lot of help from different organizations, starting from the University of Alberta, the eHub organization at the University of Alberta, which helps entrepreneurs. That was kind of our launching pad.
Awesome.
Out of something that was just an idea, just a project, to a business. Mm-hmm. And then we had help from the likes of MyTax, which is a government organization. That's a Canada-wide organization. But through the network we made in Alberta, we found the right people to help us. Because we were from an academic background, we didn't have any business training.
Gotcha.
So you always need people who can look at it differently, from a different point of view, mm-hmm. to help you out. Mm-hmm. And that's how Alberta has been so important to us. The network, the people, it's kind of like a family when you're an entrepreneur in Alberta. Everyone knows everyone. And if you make a good impact, if you make a good impression on people, they're going to help you.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was really important.
It's surprising how small the community is once you get ingrained into the community,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
And to have a community that's going to help and support a backing like this,
Exactly.
that can be a world-changing product and a world-changing solution to a massive problem that, like we said in earlier, about 2.2 billion people not having access to clean drinking water. Now, with this technology, what are some of the things that you're able to detect? What are the specific issues in water you can find?
So the main one that everyone I'm sure is familiar with is E. coli. So recently we've heard a lot about the E. coli outbreak in lettuce, which was linked to water.
Oh.
So so we can detect E. coli. E. coli can cause a number of problems from a mild sickness to, God forbid, kidney failure and death.
Right.
And it has happened before, not so much in developed countries, but in developing countries, but it can always happen if you're not careful.
Right.
And so that's the main one.
Yeah.
And what laboratories, what municipalities target as a standard is E. coli and total coliform, which is a bunch of bacteria together.
Gotcha.
So that's also what we detect.
Okay.
And we're going to expand to other bacteria in the future, but the main official microbiological contaminants that are right now tested in water are total coliform and E. coli.
Yeah. And can you tell us about some of your field testing? You'd mentioned some of your field testing.
Yeah.
Where have you guys kind of taken it, and what kind of response have you seen out in the field by the people that are viewing the technology?
We've talked to operators in municipalities, especially Yellowhead County we've been to.
Okay.
So they have been thrilled to have something like this.
Yeah.
It makes their job easier.
Yeah.
And they've been really cooperative with us.
Awesome.
They think it has the potential to be used.
Right.
Yeah.
And now how about cost effectiveness? So, I mean, like we talk about, all right, you got to take that sample, ship it out, get it to a lab, traditional way, get it to a lab, have it tested. Might take, like you said, a week or two because they're usually backed up. They've got lots of stuff on the go, right? So it might take a week to get it done, and then those results got to come back until, to try and figure out, okay, what's the next steps. So cost effectiveness wise, like that sounds like it's, not the most direct path, whereas this is in the field. What kind of cost effectiveness, like I said, can you see?
So because it's a reader and cartridge, like a two-part device, the reader is your one-time expense. You just buy it and then you start testing with it.
Right.
The cartridges cost about the same as one test would.
Oh wow, okay.
To a laboratory, so that's pretty comparable. So you're saving money on gas, on time, transport. And
time is the big one.
Time is the big one
because if people are drinking that water, out of a new well and whatnot, then it's too late.
It's too unfortunate.
And then it happens really quickly. No. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So now you were also talking about just to take us back to your journey with the project. You've just recently, not too long ago, been approved for funding to take you to the next phase. So what phase are you kind of in right now, and how does that break down to the success of the project and when it can actually be sent into manufacturing and out into the world?
Yes, about the funding, we got approved for the Water Innovation Program, which was wonderful. We're really grateful to the government of Alberta. And that has helped us to take this device that we have right now, this prototype, and start making the next version, which is going to be our standalone device. Doesn't need a tablet or phone. It's just going to work on its own. And that we're trying to pilot this spring in the coming months with some of the municipalities that we've already worked with, and we're always welcoming new people, new municipalities, organizations that want to test this out. So that funding has helped us launch the next phase, which is very close to our actual product. If it can be piloted successfully, then it can go to manufacturing.
Awesome. Right on. Well, it's good to hear that, again, the Alberta government is behind this. They obviously see value in this. And again, this is something that can be world-changing. When you talked about countries like India, Africa, some of these third-world countries that really need early detection, and it takes it to that next level of being proactive and getting to the root of the problems prior to them being actual problems.
Yeah, because when children's lives are at stake, you want to be vigilant, you want to be quick about it and proactive.
Definitely.
That's what we're trying to do.
Right on. Thank you again so much for coming on and
Thank you.
sharing about this information and technology. Again, coming straight out of Alberta, which is super awesome, and another great example of what innovation and what great minds can, in this
Very
province, can bring to the world. So thanks for joining us
Grateful.
again.
Thank you very much.
And there you go. And for you, thanks for joining us. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel as we release weekly episodes.
What that's called.